All right, welcome back to Calling in the Dark, the show where I read scary stories to my friends. My name is Eric Towers, and with me today I have my friend Lee Apocrypha.
Hello.
How are
Thank you for
you?
having me.
I didn't. You were on an episode before, but I forgot to ask you. Is like, how are you with scary stories? Like, I know me and you, we tell a lot of scary stories, but like, tell the people like your relationship with the spooks.
With the spooks. Well, I've had certain things happen to me before, like nightmares, and then waking up from certain nightmares, like seeing shadows or feeling certain things. I love hearing scary stories, and you know that, like we'll always talk about some shit together.
Oh yeah,
It's always a good time. But yeah, I'm always willing and ready to hear some more.
awesome, awesome. So the story I got for you today is about a demon, and it's called Scratch, and it's
Okay.
based on true events, strange and unexplained, based on a true story. So it doesn't say the author here, but let's just dive right into it.
All right.
I could say I was having a pretty peaceful life. I just graduated high school and I'm about to enter college in a week, to which my mom is really proud of because I decided to pursue something great for my life instead of just applying for McDonald's or something. Anyway, everything was going along pretty normal until one day I overheard my mom talking to someone through the phone. Who was that, Mom? I asked because she looked sorry for something, like a friend had a problem and she was feeling very sorry for her. Oh, just our old neighbor. Remember that house we lived in many years back? He said the family that moved in after us just left yesterday. My brows just furrowed, since I couldn't recall living in a house other than this one. Then my mom softly laughed and patted my back. You probably don't remember because you were too little. Really? Why did we move away? We moved because of you, honey. She chuckled, as if she waved it off with her hand. You kept on bugging me about some monster or whatever. To be honest, we wouldn't have left there if your aunt didn't offer us this house for only half the price. A lot cheaper. And you kept on complaining back there anyway, so I just agreed to move. Shout out to the parents. Like, how often do you, like, take your kid seriously or you're just like, all right, fuck, we gotta move
Yeah.
then?
Hey, well, I mean, it was cheaper, so that was probably a big benefit too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't like the fact that she didn't take the whole like monster under the bed thing seriously. Like,
I
like
think
so.
most parents don't.
Yeah, some most parents are just like, like it. He's trying to get attention or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. To be
Yeah,
honest, I would at least look into it. You know.
I agree.
Yeah. I just nodded in understanding, though I still couldn't recall what she was saying. Eventually, I just let it go and continued with my business, making sure my papers are complete, packing my stuff that I'll surely need. You know, the usual thing to prepare before you move away to enter a new part of your life. The next day, I guess I could say boredom and curiosity just attacked me out of nowhere, and the idea of visiting the old house crossed my mind. I asked my mom, and I was actually surprised when I found out it was just a 15-minute drive away. You guessed it right. I did go to the house, and as soon as I stood there in front of the empty driveway, the memories started flooding back like a light switch and flipped open. I didn't I and I did remember the little me complaining about something almost every day for breakfast, but I just laughed it off, thinking that it was probably just my wild imagination as a kid. Okay, this dude definitely has some like repressed memories and stuff like that. Like, how
Yeah,
bad do you think something has to be, like, for you to completely block it out as a kid? You know?
yeah, that's true. And then it all comes back flooded.
Yep. So
Mhm.
it leads me to believe that we're gonna hear some crazy shit right
Yeah.
now. So I carefully approached the door just in case someone was still in there, even though Mom said the family moved out and the house is probably empty by now. I tried to open the door, not really expecting it to be open, so I was surprised when it did open. Maybe I'm just lucky, eh? Anyway, the house still had a lot of furniture around, and I actually remember myself doing childish stuff on them, like jumping on the sofa or scribbling on the cabinets. I could only chuckle as that memories flashed by my eyes like I was watching a movie. Eventually, I found my way to the old room, and my small bed was still there on a corner. Like all these years, it had never been moved the other way. For all these years, it had never been moved the other way. The tiny, amused smile on my face faded as I started to remember what I was fuzzing about while we still lived there. I kept on complaining about a monster under my bed every night before I slept. Mom would check and assured me that nothing is under there. But as soon as the lights are off and my mom is gone, I start to feel those long, slow scratching right against the wood under my bed. I could even feel it vibrating through the mattress and the thick blanket I wrapped myself with in fear. Eventually, I'd fall asleep despite I'll fall asleep despite of the incredible fear and wake up the next in spite of the incredible fear and wake up the next morning crying. Wow, I really can't read.
Hey, I'm the same.
Yeah. As soon as I stood there in the doorway, this new surge of curiosity flowed right through me. I don't know. That monster under the bed was probably just the usual stuff kids tend to imagine. But I wanted to fulfill this silly curiosity, so why not? I walked closer to the bed and took deep breaths for some reason. Being near it, I sent an it sent an eerie sensation up my back, but I tried to shake it away with one heave. I lifted the whole bed and propped it up against the wall. I was ready to laugh at myself for doing all that for nothing, but the horror washed all that away as I saw. Oh my gosh. I was ready to laugh at myself for doing that for nothing, but horror washed all that away as I saw long, deep scratches against the wood. There was just so many, to the point that some parts of the wood were already too thin and could break with just a single poke. I couldn't believe it. Gasping, I scrambled out of the room and out of the house. I was about to enter my car when an elderly woman from the next door called out to me. May I help you? She said with narrowed eyes. Darn, she probably thought I was stealing something from the house. Wiping the sweat off my face, I awkwardly approached her. I was, I used to live here. I was just checking out what's new. I half expected that she wouldn't believe me, but then her eyes widened as if she recognized me. Oh, are you that little Superman kid? Little Superman kid. Oh my gosh. I have little. My brother was like the same way, and like he would always tell us to like call him Spider Man.
That's cute though.
Yeah, he was like 8 years old. Oh man, good times. She made awkward little gestures that looked like dancing. The one that always danced like this and like that in the backyard. It was funny how embarrassment was able to wash away the horror in a blink of an eye. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you've grown so much, she said in a teary eyed and hugged me tight. And then started mumbling things like she and mom were friends and they always came over. Only when she mentioned about a call that I realized she was the one mom was talking to yesterday. Did you decide to visit because I called yesterday? I glanced at the house, but this time fear crept inside my heart instead of nostalgia. Yeah, sort of. You said the family just moved out of there? Yeah, they were a nice family, she said sadly as she followed my gaze. Too bad they had to move away. Why did they move away? Quite silly, actually, she chuckled. But the sorry look remained on her face. But I guess actually they're ready to do anything for their kids. The mom told me that their youngest daughter won't stop whining over something for months. It stressed the parents so much that even their older daughter, they had to endure it. The oh my gosh, told me that their youngest daughter won't stop whining over something for months. It stressed the parents out so much, and even their older daughter. There you go. That makes sense now. They had to endure the little one's whining, but then I guess they eventually got tired of it and decided to move away. The same eerie feeling started to crawl up my spine once again, but I pushed on my curiosity and asked another question. But boy, little did I know that I'll only regret that I ever asked about that. What was the little girl whining about? The old woman paused for a bit, as if to try to remember, but quickly returned to attention with me with a smile. You know, just the usual children's stuff, someone scratching under her bed or something. And the
Of
story ends
course.
right there.
Of course.
Of course. Of course. That
Yeah.
seems to be a recurring thing on this channel.
Right.
Just very abrupt endings, and they
Yeah.
leave it to like the imagination and stuff.
Like, first of all, I think it was interesting that even though a whole nother family lived there, it was the same bed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but I mean, but like, what are like the odds? That's like pretty, like, you know, that's like convenient
yeah,
almost.
right? It's
Yeah.
like if my kid were to complain about hearing scratching under the bed, that'd be the first fucking thing I do is check.
Yeah.
And then to see that evidence, that'd be terrifying.
Yeah, but like they did check and they saw nothing, right? And only the little girl was able to see them. And when he was a little boy, he was able to see it, but he came back older and he was still able to see it. So like what
Hmm.
why was it only appearing to them is my question.
True. I was going to say maybe because they're like younger and innocent kind of thing, but then they're older and when he went back, he still saw it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it just targeted them, a specific type of person. I don't know.
That's weird. I mean, but it's
Hmm.
not that scary. It's just a bunch
Yeah.
of scratches, you know? Like he didn't see like fingers coming out of the floorboards or anything like that. He just saw scratches. Like it
Yeah.
could have literally been anything.
Yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, I thought it was gonna be like the title made me think like scratches on the skin, like oh my god, like there's gonna be some crazy shit going on.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna be like, oh, I came back and
Yeah,
like I saw all these like fucking hands coming out of the floorboards and all that stuff. But I mean, it's just like literally
right.
scratches, like
It
weird.
just, I mean, imagine it a little differently, a
Uh-huh.
different scenario. What would you think would be interesting if you were to finish the story or something?
Um, I don't know. I would think coming back, like maybe coming back with someone, and like eventually they find like coming back with like say a priest or someone or like somebody like a paranormal team or something, and they come back and they actually end up uncovering some fucking demon in there or something.
Oh
Is how I would
yeah,
go about it.
right? I imagine like imagine when he was up there and he flipped over the bed and saw the scratches like the door closing and then feeling chills and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden like feeling this heat on the skin and seeing like these scratches or something and then like feeling a presence. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, or maybe he got like when he lifted up the bed, he got scratched, and then that
Right,
scratch is
yeah.
like some kind of like warning or whatever, and he has a curse now. Or I don't know. It could have gone a bunch of different ways, but I mean, the author of this one is says it was a real experience. So, I mean, it's not like a fictional piece where we can like make these kinds of things, you know. So I
Yeah. I
mean, from
mean, we could
yeah,
we
I
could
mean,
embellish the story.
a little bit. I
I
mean,
wonder.
but it like I do kind of understand, right? But like feeling that feeling of fear or whatever, and like
Oh yeah.
that moment when he saw the scratches, were just like, okay, yeah, maybe there was something here, you know. It was
Right,
scary
yeah.
in that sense, but other than that, it was just it wasn't too bad.
What makes it more bizarre too is that the scratches were only there under that bed in that one spot.
True, true.
Because like it would have made more sense, like, oh, it could have been like a raccoon or something else, like if there were scratches all over.
Yeah.
But like that deep into the wood in one spot, I wonder like maybe if there was something under the floorboards or something.
Could be. And then what are the odds of the parents not seeing that? I know if my parents saw that, they would be mad. They would be fucking pissed at me thinking I did it or something.
Right? Yeah, I think most parents would probably just like deny any possibility of it being something else
Yeah,
and just blame the kid, like, oh, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't be fucking around. They'd be pissed.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But not a bad story overall. I mean, you know,
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I was like,
pretty.
what's gonna happen next?
Yeah, me too. Me too. I thought it was gonna be this long quest, but anyways, thank you so much for being on the show. You know,
Yeah,
always
thank
lovely
you
to
for
have you.
having me again.
Always nice
Thank
to
you.
share scary stories with y'all.
Love it. Hey, anytime. You want to do it again?
Yeah, for shizzle, come back anytime. And thank you
Hmm.
guys, the viewers, for making it this far into the video. If you did, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.